Greetings, this is Paul, your Pacific Northwest trail guide. I want to help you pick your next trail to explore, so let's check this one out. This stunning bridge over the East Fork of the Lewis River is your gateway to nearby Bells Mountain. Today I'll share with you a hike up to the top of Bells Mountain on a lollipop loop. There's not much to see up at the top, but you'll appreciate all the gems along the way. If you go the whole route, it's less than 8 miles and less than 2,000 feet of ascent. If you'd like a shorter version, going about 2 miles in and heading back from there makes a really nice trip as well, just skipping the loop part at the end. We start this hike at the popular Moulton Falls near Yacolt, Washington. Heading north on Highway 503, you turn onto Lucia Falls Road and follow it to the upper Moulton Falls parking area, which is up a longer driveway after you pass the first lot right by the road. Our hike starts off by heading off to the left from the parking area towards the bridge. Keep in mind this route is a multi-use trail. You may encounter bikes along the way. Check out the footage of the upper loop to see if you might be interested in biking this trail. That part of the trail is designed with mountain bikers in mind. You can drive to the top, which could make for a nice little bike shuttle opportunity. The first section of the hike will take us over the bridge and along the river on the ridge above Moulton Falls. We'll then reach the Bells Mountain Trail and get on that and start climbing. Until after about 2 miles, we reach a junction where the Sword Fern Way loop begins. As you continue on towards the bridge, you'll pass a few branches that go off to nearby picnic areas, but we follow the larger path to head straight to the bridge. You quickly reach this high bridge over the Lewis River, which crosses at a narrow point with high rock walls. Continue on past another picnic area after crossing the bridge on the wide trail. After passing by Moulton Falls below, you reach this short little bridge over some runoff and find the Bells Mountain Trail junction right after. Head up it to start your ascent. You'll come across a couple brief breaks in the ascent, but it's pretty constant uphill for the rest of this section. I love a good nurse log, and this charming little spot had a real nice one. At about halfway through your ascent of this section, you'll pass this unmarked junction with the Bells Mountain North Slope Trail, which connects up to some other trails meant more for mountain biking. We keep to the left here to continue up on the main Bells Mountain Trail. Eventually, you find yourself ascending up a more exposed slope and get views out into the nearby valleys. It appears that Bells Mountain has been claimed for America. I don't know how long this flag has been stuck in this stump or how long it will stay, but it does happen to mark a good spot to soak in the view and turn around if you want to do the half-length version of this hike. Otherwise, we continue on as the trail levels out and heads back into tree cover. Soon after a creek crossing, we reach the junction that marks the start of the loop and the end of this section of the hike. Continuing straight takes us clockwise around the loop. The next section has us continue on the Bells Mountain Trail around the east side of Bells Mountain to the far junction with the Sword Fern Way loop, which we get on and follow up to the top of Bells Mountain. This long, flat stretch, starting off this section, gives you a nice break before doing the next half of the ascending on this hike. It passes through various areas of prior logging and replantations. Eventually, you arrive at this junction, where a trail switches back, heading steeply up to the right. This is Sword Fern Way, and we turn onto it here. Is it just me, or does Sword Fern Way sound like a martial arts fighting style? Maybe someone should run with that. this trail, the first part continues through prior logging areas and crosses a gravel road at a couple points. On a clear day, you might be able to see off in the distance the mountains and other features in the south. Alas, it was just clouds for me. After the second crossing, you reach the tree line and dive back into the forest. Continuing on, the wide turns in the flowy trail slowly take us up the hillside in this relatively young forest. You arrive at this T-junction and turn left to follow a spur up to the summit of Bell's Mountain. We'll come back here for the return loop. The spur pops you out onto a gravel road at the top of Bell's Mountain. There's not much to see here, but you can follow the road around to a spot that used to have some communications tower that has since been taken down. To finish up our hike, we'll head back to the Sword Fern Way from the little spur we took and follow it back down a different way on its north section, which will take us right back to the Bell's Mountain Trail to return the way we came. Make your way back to the Sword Fern Way to get started back. You soon reach the T-junction and head left to explore the rest of the Sword Fern Way trail. After descending for a while, you get into a hillside very thick with salmonberry thickets. Might be good for a snack in the early summer, but just pretty blossoms and nubs to see in May here. Continuing on, this section crosses the road as well. Not long after, you get dumped out near the junction with the Bells Mountain Trail and stay to the left to join up with it. Now the loop section is complete, and heading left, we continue our return on the Bells Mountain Trail. Even a cloudy day can have its moments in a spot like this. Some of the descent on this section can be steep and loose, but it's mostly solid. Make sure to keep right at the junction on your way back. It's not long before you see the East Fork Lewis River Trail below you, and you join up with it to head back on the flat, wide path. You might catch a last look at Moulton Falls, or explore more around the bridge and the beautiful green pools below it. You might even explore this little side loop by the bridge that takes you along the steep gorge a little ways, with a great view of the bridge from the south side. It's just a short way to the lot, and our trip is complete. When it comes to ratings for this trail, there is a wide variety of trail quality you pass through, but no big obstacles to deal with. I rate it 2 for terrain. For elements, just keep in mind there's a few exposed sections where the trail passes through clear cut. The length and climb are on the high end for an average day hike, and I rate them both at 3. That's all for this edition of Pacific Northwest Trail Guide. I scouted this trail in May of 2025, but trails are always evolving. If you pick this trail and encounter any changes people might like to know about, please help out your fellow explorers by sharing in the comments on this video. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but an experience with all of your senses cannot even be conveyed in pictures or video. So don't take my word for it. Get out there and see it for yourself.